Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday. Tuesday is request day. Today's map was requested by Unbuilt Aura via the method of Twitter. Link will be on the screen shortly. It's a map that they were using for their city build at the time, probably still are. Who knows? Who knows? But they certainly felt that we should take a look at it on the channel. Now, it's not going to blow you away as the most technical or the most beautiful map you have ever seen, but it does have a certain charm to it. It's good to go, there's nothing wrong with it, and for those of you looking for a solid vanilla map, well, this is a solid vanilla map. But before we have a look at solid vanilla maps, I've got a daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is GL693-1 by VoltCygni. Now, with a name like that, you're expecting something science fiction. You won't get something science fiction. There's your start square, plain and ordinary and playable, and that's what we want. What about terrain heights? Very flat in the middle of the map, which will please a lot of people, and some hills around the outside for backdrop. Very nice. Resources are very usable again, splodges here and there, but certainly enough to get stuck in with. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it looks a little bit like this, or a lot a bit like this, one or the other. Off to the workshop, what do we need? Well, it's 100% vanilla. 100% no DLC required, so you can dive straight in. We'll be using the vanilla temperate theme, that's the one, and the realistic 1.2 LUT, just because it wouldn't be WhatMap without it. Okay, and down to ground level for a little flyby. Now again, don't expect to be blown away by highly technical areas, by clever work, by super slick work, but accept that what we've got here, there ain't much wrong with it. There really isn't. It's a good solid highway network. We have got plopped intersections, which you'll see, which aren't very exciting, but do the job. And it's just a map that you know if you like it. It's one of the, I know it's stupid saying it. You know if you like it. Yeah, of course you know if you like it. But it's one of those, I think there's a lot of you are going to go, nah, it's not for me. It's very, very base game. And, well, what's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with it. Say there's nothing really that much wrong with the map at all. You got a lovely little rail bridge there. It's on the bend. Starts elevated and then comes down to ground level, and it's just very tightly done again. Down to ground level, so we go. Now maybe this was built with the parallel road tool. If it wasn't, then the road laying is pretty solid. We haven't got any drift between the highways, and I don't have a problem with drift between the highways as long as it's, again, very believable. And yeah, sometimes you get it and it's just, well, sometimes you get the beautiful design drift going around little mountains and around lakes and all the clever stuff. None of that going on today, and the map doesn't need it. The map just doesn't need it. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all, actually. So anyway, yes, we'll just heading up here past this little bit of water here and the lovely... Of course, this map, we are using the cube map replacer, so while it is a vanilla map, we are, as always, we just got a prettier skyline. I think it just makes the maps pop a little bit more having that than the cartoony clouds that we get with the vanilla game. Again, though, nothing really wrong with that. And of course, the difference, of course, is with the vanilla skies, you get proper nightfall, which is something you don't get with the cube map. Right, heading down here towards our start square intersection, and it is, I mean, again, this technically speaking, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just clunky, isn't it? It's the plopped wishbone, which of course is the elevations are way too steep, really, and then we go really up in the air to come down to go across a quite nice little suspension bridge. Again, perfect bridge. Yeah, pretty close actually. No worries with that at all. And into the start square. And today we've got a really slick asset of the day. When I say really slick, really very nice indeed. The Chinese commercial community, and this is by Often. I've got a word missing. I got a word missing on my caption. I will fix this for when we actually go live. But yeah, the Chinese commercial community something. I can't read it. Hang on. I've got it. I've got to check it up. Pack. There we go. That's the word that's missing. Pack. By Often. And this is just really nice. It's 3 units pushed together to make a corner unit. And very nice it is indeed. Did I say factoids because factoids? No? Well, I will. Factoids because factoids. It was a custom in ancient Rome for men to place their right hand on their testicles while taking an oath. The modern word testimony is derived from this old tradition. Now, tell me you didn't know that. I'm hoping it's true. I mean, it's probably definitely true. Chinese commercial community pack by Often. Today's asset of the day. That is very, very slick indeed. If you're doing any build, I mean, why not have Chinese characters on the front of your buildings? There's no reason. Chinatown, of course, Chinatown. Very slick bridge here, and again, nothing really to complain about. I mean, we can be really nitpicky, but I don't see a need to. I really don't see a need to. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Next bridge here, we've got the suspension. Yes, it has been pointed out that suspensions pylons wouldn't be in the middle of the river. They'd be on either side. But again, depends how picky you want to be. And then another plopped wishbone intersection here. If we were to carry on, that goes off to the edge of the map over there, over another bridge. We're going to go this route because there's slightly more to talk about. Not much, but slightly. And slightly more is always a bit more interesting, I feel. So anyway, oh, and you'll be pleased to know I seem to have got the edge. What's it called? Fog. Clouds and Fog Toggler. I knew it'd come back to me in my old age. Yeah, I finally think I've got that working. Oh, again, bridge here, suspension bridge, too small for a suspension bridge, and the pylons and pillars in the middle of the river there. Yeah, so it seems to be working. I haven't, well, I say I've got it working. I haven't done I've done absolutely nothing, and suddenly I'm able to switch the edge map fog on and off again. Yeah, this is the bridge. This is the reason why we've come this way. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. They're not aligned and in the river. On the opposite side, these are in the river as well. Then we come down to ground level in the middle, which is ground elevated at ground level. There's a whole bunch of things not very, but it's just an odd bridge. Again, tell me what's wrong with it, and there isn't really much wrong with it. It's just a question of what's right with it. And I would argue it's one of those that could be rebuilt 1,000 times, and you could do it 1,000 different ways. And I don't think any of them would be that way. Anyway, heading off towards the edge of the map now, which means we'll take a look at the rail. If anybody wants to have a look at the rail, why not have a look at the rail? How's the rail for you on this map, BonBon? I would say it's okay. It's not very exciting, but much like the highway layout, it's not very exciting. It doesn't want to be. The most exciting thing on the map, remember, a map is a canvas for the city. The city should be exciting. Now, the map can be really exciting as well, so long as it allows the city to also be a starring part of the equation. What we've got here is a map which isn't very exciting, but I think would allow for an exciting city build. And that's where the I think that's where the work has come into here. It's very meh and very vanilla, and we've got this little triangle in the middle here, which is split up quite neatly. Yeah, it's very meh and very vanilla, and a little bit dull, even. But again, so I'm looking at the map as a whole, and I'm thinking, you know what? I could actually quite happily build a city on this map. And if I had the time and I didn't have a million other maps that I could be playing, I probably would. And if I was just randomly surfing the workshop looking for maps without any knowledge of what's map or anything like that, and I stumbled on this one, I would be quite happy. Because the amount of maps that you will open up randomly on the workshop and not find anything of any quality at all, and then you find this, which is solid. Which is very solid. And again, I'd like to thank Unbuilt Aura for the suggestion, because again, it's not going to be the most exciting Watts map you've ever seen, but you don't really want... Do we really want exciting shows? I don't think we do. We just want to open up a map and go, yep, I can build on that one. Although some maps are obviously just real beauts. Real beauts. I should build another map. Speaking of which, I've got a new series coming up soon. Very soon indeed. It is going to be a little bit exclusive, but more about that closer to the time. But yeah, a new series, and there will be map building in it. So keep an eye open for that one. I will let you know more when I can. Right, okay, let's take an intermission. And so we are back to GL693-1 by VoltCygni. And shipping routes. And pretty much as you would expect here, not too much to talk about. Liking the design of this though, this route comes around by the coast. This will be where your ships come in. But there is another route where the through ships stay further out to sea. This is a very nice little touch. Then we had a little triangle there. But then we have one that goes right up the edge of the map here that I feel is just a little bit lost. And I mean, I would like to see maybe a dead end harbour up here. Just one on its own, but I don't know. Water flow. A water flow, for those of you that want it, you've got it. Here it is. This is the main river. It's wide enough, it's deep enough, it's flowing strongly enough to be good for a decent city build. And then it flows out into the bay, so that will take all your sewage right away. And good work. Alright, and now let's have a look at the map as a whole. Now, the first thing that struck me when I saw this map was it reminded me of France. Not a little bit of France, all of it. There you go. Brittany at the top, Pyrenees at the bottom. I don't really know whether that was by intention or just one of those fluky things. The forests are fine. The mix of trees is fine. It is 100% vanilla, so it's never going to be super pretty. And the density of the trees is fine. I've no real grumbles with any of those. Let's have a look at... I've got plenty of things to look at on this. Shall we have a look at the castle? Ooh, it's a castle. I think we should. As castles go, again, like the rest of the map, it's not very exciting, but it does the job. So I'll settle for that. We're not even going to go in and zoom in on it. I don't feel there's a need to. These rivers, these little extra rivers, they're a little bit gouged, a little bit drainage ponds, drainage canals really. I don't really get on with those, but if they're the worst thing with a map, okay? If they're the worst thing with a map, I think we can deal with it. And then up here we've got, maybe the worst thing on the map is this river here, which is a little bit tidal wavy. This little one here with the suspension bridge in the middle. Yeah, that possibly is the worst bit on the map, is the water flow on that river. But yeah, the little rivers I'm not big on. Little river's not big on, of course. Yes, it's everybody's favourite factory. And I like the positioning of it, because right by, wait for it, there's some oil there. Now, I think everybody's favourite factory probably would rather be by all of that oil over there, or maybe all of this oil over here. Yeah, no, we'll have it just by this little patch of oil down at the side there, which is fine. What we got? We've got an abandoned ship here, wreck, which is almost floating. It's not quite floating. It's sitting right on the top of the water there. And we've got the jetty, which is, it's okay. It's not brilliant. It's a bit high. Anyway, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now to take yourself to the voting page for absolutely free. How about that? Don't get much for free these days, do you? Okay, what do I think of today's map? Aesthetically, it's okay actually. It's a plain and simple design. It's not unattractive in any way, shape or form, but it doesn't shine either. It's right down the middle. It's 3 stars. Detailing, again, I'm going to say it's right down the middle, but I feel there's just 1 or 2 little bits that could do with tightening up just a little bit, like that bridge that was in the valley. So I'm going to give it a 3, but it's going to be a medium low 3. Gameplay potential, and this is where I've been selling it up. I can see myself building quite a nice city on this one. I think it's very playable for a good city build. I don't think it's inspiring, which is always part of the gameplay potential, but it's all there, it's all in place. And well, it's 4 stars. I'm going to give it a lowish 4, but I think it deserves a 4th star. GL693-1 by VoltCygni. That was well worth checking out. Thank you very much, Ambit Aura, for suggesting it. Of course, if you want to suggest a map, you can drop one into the comments, leave it over on Twitter at Edge of the Sofa, or via one of the 2 Facebook pages that I use, or via Discord, or you'll find a way. You'll find a way. Anyway, that's it for today. If you're still watching, you're part of the 20 and Out Elite, our secret society that only you and I and anybody else at the end of the show will know about. Use the word of the day into the comments, and we'll all know that you were here. And I'll see you tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series. Thanks for watching.